What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Forex Poppy back with another video. I did just come back. I just had my root canal maybe like an hour ago, so now I'm back. So if my speech is slurred or anything, please forgive me. Right now we have a setup forming on NQ that I really liked, but just gotta see if it plays out. So far what I've seen is my draw was still this 4-hour fair value gap from the beginning of the week back to equilibrium, but what price is showing me is that we're not displacing through lows, and then news came today and displaced through all these highs, and we are just respecting bullish fair value gaps and bullish PD arrays. So I just have to go with what the market shows me, especially ES definitely looks a lot more bullish as well. So just waiting to see how price is going to react. We did hit the fair value gap that the news created, and then we created a new fair value gap out of it that I drew out here. So this is on the 15-minute time frame. So we have price coming back down to touch the equilibrium candle. So price doesn't always have to get down to equilibrium, but as long as it's touching the candle, like the fair value gap is that the candle created is touching equilibrium, that's okay for me to look for a high probability setup. So right now what we're waiting on is we put the low in on this fair value gap right here, and then now we swept that low. So now we have internal sell side mid and swept. So now all we're waiting is a market structure shift, and then targets will be, we have market structure shift. First target, since we don't have a whole bunch of generated buy side, this will be our first target, and then these highs up here will be the next target. So looks like we're just making some structure. So all we're doing is waiting on this market structure shift here. So that is all we are doing. And with this model, if we get the model, that means that we are going to disrespect this bearish fair value gap. And since, we're looking to take buys, all bearish PD arrays should be disrespected. If they're not being disrespected, that means that I'm looking the wrong way. So the only thing that I saw while looking through the charts was, if I go to the 30-minute time frame, on NQ, we have taken these highs here, right? Notice we've swept those highs here. Let me move this out the way. Swept those highs. On ES, we have not taken these highs yet. So let me just leave it here just so you guys have the visual. So, yep. So these highs here have not been taken yet. So what we have now is bearish SMT. So that's the only thing that's holding this setup back. We are respecting bullish fair value gaps though. So just with context, I would say that this bearish SMT will not hold. If it does, oh well, and then we react from there. But right now we just have this bearish SMT. So that's the only thing that I'm looking at in the charts that could possibly stop us from getting this setup. Even if we just end up going to take these highs and then selling off for this SMT to play out. But as of right now, especially today, that's what we've been doing, is respecting bullish PD arrays. So if we're going to get the model out of a bullish PD array, then I'm going to take it and we'll go from there. Let's make sure let me make sure that I'm signed into my account. Yeah, see, I'm never signed in. So right now it looks like we're getting that market structure shift on NQ. I'm going to turn on instant orders. So what we need is the follow through though. We want to see displacement through. Here's our fair value gap, and we're just going to mark that out. And we should run through this bearish fair value gap. And we're just gonna set up our order here. Stop below the candle, 750. And then here, and then we're gonna mark out our standard deviation. Look where the one lines up with. Oh, I'll put it right there. One lines up perfectly with here, so it gives me more. It gives me more conviction in the trade. Let's see what the other time frames are looking like. And we're gonna start off with one contract here since we got the market structure shift. So create limit order. Oh, 2 contracts. Now we're in. So let's see if this fair value gap holds, and then if we push price. Notice we already ran through this bearish one right here. Already ran through this, so let's see if we're going to continue to disrespect bearish PD arrays or not. We have this area of buy side as well. Right here. And then if we lose, we lose. But we're respecting bullish PD arrays, so it made me bullish. Waited to see the model make itself, and then this is what the textbook model looks like. And if we inverse this, I will add to that position. So notice even though we were in this bearish fair value gap, I still took my entry because we have conviction with the model that price will break through this. Now, if I waited till we did this, then my entry would be all the way up here. Perfect. So now we just need to see follow through and push through these bearish PD arrays, and then we'll get to our limit. So I'm going to add to the position once we, yeah, once we do that. So we have our breaker. Let's see what the cleanest breaker looks like. The 3 minute looks like the cleanest one. I'm going to delete this. And here's our breaker block. I'll look to add one more contract right here if we come back to it. So we're going to set that limit. And there we go. Haven't moved stop to break even just yet. I just, we could easily come back here. And since we're making this new price leg here, we're right there. So we shouldn't come below here, but we could get liquidity grabbed and then, end up missing out on this trade. And what this model is telling me, the price will at least go here. This is where I'm confident price is going to go. Anything after that will just be the runner. And then is this our... the 5 minute. Perfect. 3 minutes left on this 5 minute time frame. Yeah. So, and then now for the inverse edition, we are coming out of a bullish fair value gap. And if we can inverse this bearish fair value gap, then I will look to add even more to the position and scale in more. Looks like we might get tapped in on that breaker right here. Yep. So now we're in 3 contracts. And let's see if price holds. So now our entry has been moved to here. Still gonna hold the same stop loss and make sure I change this to 3. And now we put risk on the table. Now we let price do its thing. I'll change this to 2. Oh, why is it doing that? Okay, I'm gonna set them myself. I think because I did it with this tool, that whatever I change it to, it's gonna make it the same. So we have 3 contracts. Stop here, trade, sell stop. Gonna get 2 contracts out up here. And then our last contract we're gonna take to external buy side, so up here. And then even this, so this was the first entry that I took. But even here, when we displace back into the range, this would be some people, like if you wanted to play it safe, this would be some people's first entry. Since this is a new price leg, equilibrium candle with the fair value gap. So this would be my first entry. My first entry, if I was playing it safe, would be up here. But notice I'm 3 contracts deep in my entries down here. So let's see if we hold. Now, when we get back up here, I will move stops to break even. If we get back up there, because all we've done is put risk on the table. Don't know what's going to happen, but let's see. And then let's go look at ES to make sure that we don't have any bearish SMT. Looks like we're holding this bearish fair value gap on ES. But we are also holding bullish on as well. So right now we do have bearish SMT here. So I'm moving my stop to break even. Notice how on this big push down, ES did not do that. So we have price taking this high on ES, but it didn't take that high on NQ. So now we have bearish SMT. Granted, our conviction is that price will go to at least internal and then to our runner. But, the first job is capital preservation. Because I do feel overall that price will go lower, in the long run, back to equilibrium. But we just have to see. But ES is holding this fair value gap really nicely. And we are, fighting this one here. And that is what NQ is fighting as well. So, we're just going to see what happens. And price came into this fair value gap here. Put in this high. And now it's sweeping it. So let's see if it displaces lower. We're definitely getting taken out. But if we can push through this and displace above, we can definitely at least hit this target. And break even. All good. Move on to the next trade. Make sure there's no pending orders. Nope. And like I said, I would have only waited to move stops to break even, so I wouldn't normally be in this trade. But because we did create this bearish SMT on the 1 minute time frame intermediately, we could have turned bearish, which is why I moved my stops to break even. Because like I said, capital preservation is the number one job when as a trader. So possibly we might have saved ourselves, but like I said, my stop wouldn't have moved if we did not create this bearish SMT. But the same setup that we took here, where price swept internal, gave us that microstructure shift. Price is doing it on the 1 minute time frame. Put the high in, sweep it, market structure shift down. So then price probably goes down here if we get that market structure shift. Now we have bullish SMT. But yeah, no need to chase, no need to run back in and get back in the trade. Just move on to the next one. I did trade Tuesday. I lost $200, and I'll definitely show you guys that in the market recap. And then Wednesday, I didn't trade, and then this is my first trade Thursday. And then Monday, I didn't trade as well. So just notice, like, market conditions were not the best this week. We barcoded a lot, moved sideways, consolidated. Whatever you want to call it, I wasn't a fan. So I just knew to stay out of